By this point, everyone knows that you need video content, but a lot of people don't realize what to do once you completed that video or any type of content. They don't know how to utilize it. So in this podcast today, we're going to be talking about what we do to utilize that to possibly generate leads, to generate traffic, or even just awareness for different brands. Now, if the podcast looks a little bit different today, that's because Aaron and I are actually on the road right now, and we're in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, filming some content for one of our clients, Michelangelo at Renaissance.
Yeah. We're out here in our Airbnb.
Yep.
We got our mic, so if you're listening to the audio version, you might hear some lovely birds flying by or something like that.
Maybe a car every now and then, a dog barking in the background. You don't know.
Just imagine you're in a peaceful, beautiful, green field with trees.
You're on your way to work, but this is just a soothing.
It's gonna be a soothing
soundscape
today. It'll be
very, very soothing, and you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
Yeah. This is a good topic that we hear a lot of people struggle with. Is how do I make the most out of a project?
Yeah.
How do I ask for a testimonial? Is that's kind of the start of it. And people then just they'll half do photos or half do video. Hopefully by the end of this episode, you'll have an idea of, okay, I understand what I need to do, and I have some next steps on how to do it, and some examples I can look at later.
Absolutely.
So, I think maybe a good place to start is what most people do with their finished projects.
Mm-hmm. It's a great place to start.
I think from what I've seen from our clients before we've gone out there, a lot of people will. Michelangelo was just telling us yesterday. We were getting photos of his deck, and he does outdoor living spaces and decks. And one of the things that came up in both of his testimonials was the lighting on the deck. Mm-hmm. Everybody loved the lighting that he put. He had it placed strategically around the deck so that way it lit up various spots and made the whole thing come alive differently at night. And so we shot the testimonial earlier in the day, and then we waited for things to get dark to get more footage of those lights. And one of the things he said to us was this is actually cool for me to see the lights at 9 p.m. because I don't ever get to see this.
Yeah, he's not at his client's house at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
He just gets the photos that they take and send to him.
Yeah, exactly.
Which still look cool, but it's not the same experience.
It's not the same thing. And then he specifically said, he was like, I mean, there were times where I'd be working on the deck and it'd be late at night, but once you get to the end of a project, I mostly just think the clients want me out of their hair.
Yeah.
It's just oh, gee, I can't possibly ask to do one more thing or something like that. And so he was like, so sometimes what I would do is on the way out, just kind of snap some photos as I'm leaving. And so I have some photos with my phone, but I've never been able to take the time. We put the drone up over the deck and really got good imagery for him of his deck.
And on that comment of when he said, I always felt like they just wanted me out of their hair.
Yeah.
Maybe true, right? Maybe. But what we found in these testimonials this week is that they were very willing to be like, we are proud of this deck. We love this deck. So whatever you need, however long you need to stay to get the footage for other people to experience this, they were willing to let us stay.
And a lot of people are more excited about it than you think.
Yes.
There's a little bit of nerves with it as well. And there's way to go past that. I'm sure we'll talk about that today, how to introduce the concept to somebody, how to ask them. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times people are excited to have you at their space showing off their work because, especially when you approach it from the angle of hey, this is a beautiful project you have. I'm just excited to show off this work so other people can see what can be done in their yard. Kind of like you're highlighting their home or something like that.
Yeah.
It's almost like having that YouTube channel that highlights homes come to your house. Architecture's
Digest.
Yeah, they do the home tours.
Yeah. I knew what you were talking about, but I couldn't remember what the name was either.
Yeah, so I think just that idea of that's what happens to a lot of people is you get to the end of the project and you don't know. It's not even that you don't know what to do. You aren't even giving yourself the space to think about it because it's like, I just got to get done and move on to the next one.
Yeah. And, a lot of things that people don't do that they should is a lot of them, they wait for the product to be done when they're like, oh, I could use this content in the future. And then they're either too worried to ask for it or they forget or something. And now they have nothing to show on their social media or whatever. It needs to be presented in the beginning stages and throughout, right?
The idea of having a testimonial and photos afterwards?
Testimonial photos, like, hey, I'd love to, I'd love to create this. And obviously if it's a no, it's a no, but like this could really help me once I'm completed the project if I could show it off. Do you mind doing a testimonial for me later once we're done if you're happy? Or do you mind if I stay a little bit later to get a certain shot at a certain time or come back?
Yeah.
And if you put that in their head prior, it's a little bit easier to ask for it later, right?
Yeah. So
and not
set
that
because then it's a whole thing of like, if you set the expectation that I'm going to be out by this time and this is what it's going to be, then it might feel a little bit like a burden to them if you're tacking on one additional thing and one additional thing. And so while it is hard to bring that up at first, the sooner you can do it, the more freedom you'll have at the end.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
And it gets rid of the nerves that you might have. Because you've already brought it up in passing. And they're like, yeah, sure, whatever. And the only way that changes most of the time is if maybe you mess something up, which you're not going to because you're a great contractor.
That's the idea. Yeah, the bad contractors, they listen to a different podcast.
They do. They don't listen to ours.
No.
And if they did listen to ours,
they become good.
They'd be very good.
Yeah, and so all you bad contractors out there, be good.
We're glad that you're listening because we're only going to elevate you to a higher level of good contractor.
Maybe. Not with your building skills. You have to do a different podcast for that. But specifically this episode, we'll show you how to make the most out of your projects.
That's right. There you go.
Yeah, so stick around.
Yeah. On the next one.
Okay, so what you're talking about there is a good idea, that expectation setting, if you have new projects going forward.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, especially with what we're doing, is people will be like, things are slow right now. And if you're thinking about getting testimonials or something, it's not like I have a ton of projects that I'm working on right now that I can just finish up and then get those testimonials. A lot of times, there will be a backlog of projects that I don't even know how I would begin reaching out to them to follow up. Like, it's a completely different beast at that point.
It is. You're talking about it's already been done maybe a year or so.
Yeah.
And like, how do you ask that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing. Like, what's their contact? How did you contact before them? Did they prefer email? Did they prefer phone? Did they prefer text? And you do the same thing. You just check in. Like, hey, I want to check in on your project. How are you enjoying it? Maybe you can check to see if is there anything that we might need to come fix. I don't know what your warranty might be.
Yeah.
But you get your foot in the door, right? A lot of people think that it might be harder than it is, but it's not. And I know this from our past clients. They've gone back and they were nervous about the same thing, where they were like, I haven't seen this client in 2 years, and I feel like they don't want to hear from me. You'd be surprised how wrong that is. A lot of them are psyched to still hear from you. And once they go out there and, you do the testimonial now, and I've heard this from other clients too, is like, well, now they found other things like, actually, I've been meaning to contact you because I wanted this next project done.
That happens a ton when we're out
happens
here.
all the time, right? And so now you have a new job with a client that already knows you, and you get all the beginning stuff out of the way because you don't have to do that. They already know all that. So it's now become not only a testimonial for SEO and
or your website just used as a sales tool.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, for a sales tool. Now it's become another job that brings in revenue.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, we went out to Princeton, and this is a while ago now.
Yeah.
Gary Houghton, Houghton Contracting. And I remember that was the first one where we started thinking like, okay, we need to really be asking like at the beginning of the process, how long ago was this client, one of your clients? Because we'll frame our questions a little bit differently. But we went out to one of his clients, and I think the project was completed 7 years ago. And so we
didn't know that until the middle of the testimonial.
Yeah, and then that was in the early days, and we didn't even think like to ask that.
Yeah.
But now it's like that's one of the first things you ask is when was it done, because then that frames the whole conversation. But that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
The main point in me saying that is Gary, I remember, had hesitations like, oh, gee, I mean, I haven't even talked to him in years. The project itself was 7 years ago. We've done some, cordial greeting. Maybe we'll talk on social media a little bit over the years, but nothing really. And it was crazy to see just, I think what happens in most people's heads is you remember all the little bits that you were frustrated about with the project, or like you're worried, all the bits you were worried about. And what they've been left with over the past 7 years is just the beautiful end result. You know? And so a lot of times it's like you're worried about like, oh, I remember that time that material was delayed or something like that. And it's not like they forget that. but it's like weighed in comparison to how beautiful the project is, how well it's holding up, you know, the quality of work that you've done. That, from what we've seen from our clients, has made the testimonial even better. Because it's one thing to say, like, I just got this thing done, I haven't had a chance to test it or use it.
I've had 6 months to see the durability on it.
Yeah.
You know?
It doesn't mean much. But then when you go back and you have a testimonial that says, he did my project 7 years ago, and I'm still so happy about it that I agreed to do this testimonial today. Like,
and if I'm not mistaken, that specific testimony that we're talking about did also turn into a job for him.
Yeah.
Because I think they went outside and there were things that she's like, I've been meaning to get this fixed. There's something with the trim
at the garage door.
On the garage door.
Yeah.
And it turned into a job 7 years later.
Yeah.
And her literal words were, I haven't called you. I've been meaning to.
Yeah, it's just one.
And that's a lot of times, like, I know I have a lot of things I need to fix in my house, and it's a lot of just, I haven't called you.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. So it's like, then the idea is that at some point you'll be able to go back, get this testimonial, get the photos and videos, and use it to attract new clients. But what you're saying is, then immediately, if you're looking for jobs right now, a way to get them is to reach out to past clients and then talk about a testimonial.
100%. Yeah. Especially if they're happy with what you've done. Yeah. Everyone, I mean, you always have work to do on your house.
Yeah.
You own a house, I own a house. Like, there is a never ending, like, every time something gets fixed, it's like, oh, well, now I have this, this, and this.
Yep.
There's always something to get fixed.
Yeah, 100%.
Never ending thing.
100%. So I think it's a matter of just having the confidence to ask. The worst thing they can do is say no.
100%.
And if that's how it was anyways, you weren't going to get another lead from them anyways.
Yeah.
So we have never really, of all the people we've had, of all the contractors we've been out to, all the locations we visited, almost every single person's been scared about somebody saying no.
100%.
I think we've had one person say no because they were camera shy. Mm-hmm. And we've had, a few people be like, oh, I can't do it. And we'll try to talk them to it. And they say no, but like that. But every single person has been like, but you are more than welcome to come into the space, take all the photos, whatever you need. And then oftentimes what happens is as we get there, they get talkative and stuff like that. And it's like,
they realize how easy it actually is.
Yeah.
A lot of people are worried to be on camera because they're afraid of what, like how they're going to represent themselves, or they don't know how to answer the questions.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was also solved by the prep that we send them.
Yeah.
If they know what the questions are going to be up ahead of time and they can kind of prep for that, it makes it a little bit easier for them. Or if you send them, hey, here's a previous video that I did with another client of a testimonial.
Yep.
And this is what it looks like at the end. Now they can visualize, oh, that actually doesn't look that bad.
Well, we specifically, I can't remember what client we sent it to, but I know it was from Integrity Home Pro. A future client, their homeowners were worried, and they were like, what can you send us to make this guy feel better? And so we sent over the finished testimonial and then the raw footage as well.
Yeah.
So it was like, hey, if you're super worried about it, here's what it ends up being like. And then you can go through and you can see all the ums and the ahs and where we had to ask a question again or something like that. And so they got the chance to see, oh, not only like, is this going to come out great, but it doesn't have to be perfect in the process.
Yes, that's a good point because, that's a lot of pushback we got as well and always get is people are like, yeah, well, I saw this video and this person did great. It's like, you really don't know. They didn't do great.
They did not do great.
What we did is we made them look great.
Yeah.
And we're going to make you look great.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's a good point. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of, so once you build up the confidence to ask, right? Okay, you're going back and reaching out to those people either at the beginning of the job or you're reaching back out to people afterwards. Once you have the confidence to ask, then it's about how do you ask? Like, what's the way to frame it? And we've kind of mentioned that a little bit, talking about featuring their project and things like that. But you mentioned something as well, is giving them a ton of information. Not being overwhelming, but just being like, hey, it's going to be a simple conversation. There's no right or wrong answers. That's something I always say. Yeah. There's not a script to follow. It's just going to be talking, answering questions about your experience with the project. I just want your authentic feedback on it. And then giving them as much information as possible, like, hey, if you'd like to know the questions they're going to ask, here's the questions. I don't know if you guys have a videographer out, the contractors listening to this that you're working with, I would ask them for a set of questions that they're going to send over. If you need a set of questions, we could put it in the show notes, can't we? Our set?
100%.
Yeah. So we'll put it in the show notes for you, the questions that we ask on all the testimonials. And from there, we'll branch off and do stuff like that. But it's enough to give people a starting point. It's just 10 questions, 3 of them about their problem, what was the experience like, and how are they enjoying the space now, kind of those 3 sections.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest objection that anyone's going to have is you need to set the expectation of what's going to happen on this, because most people, they're not used to being on camera. So they don't really know even what to expect. Like, is this going to be an all-day thing? Is this like, do I need to like makeup done? Like all this kind of stuff. Like they don't know what to expect when it comes to this video thing. And the unknown is what scares people. It's the same thing as when you're a contractor, and we always tell people, like, on your website, you should have your process, right?
Yeah.
That way someone knows what it's like to work with you. Like you come in, you're gonna tear things up, or you're gonna protect the floors, and you go through the whole process, and they're a little bit more ease because they know what is expected of that entire process.
100%.
Because people don't like the unknown.
No.
Like, when are you gonna get here? How long are you gonna be at my house? Like, if I don't know any of those questions or those answers, I'm not gonna go forward with it. I need to know exactly what to expect, and at that point I can make a decision. Yeah, this is for me, or no, it's not for me.
100%.
So it's the same thing with video. They need to know exactly what to expect in that whole entire video.
Yeah.
And that's why we put together those booklets. It made things so much easier.
Well, remember, we even created those videos of like, hi, I'm Aaron, hi, I'm Sean, we're the people that that meet the team videos of like, hey, just so you know, these are the actual people that are coming to your house. This is who's going to be there day of. And that seemed to help as well.
Yeah.
And so it's just all of that prep work. And then when it comes down to the shoot itself, I think the important things is don't try and do this on your own. If you're not a photographer, you're not a videographer, it's not worth the headache to try and be one. Especially if you don't have the budget for videography or testimonial. I think the thing that's undisputable that you have to get every single time, even if you're just reaching out and they say, no, I won't do a testimonial, and you don't know exactly how to push back on it, you got to get photos. Like, you need a professional photographer to come out and get photos. I think I said it on a YouTube video recently, but like, to me, I think that is the highest ROI marketing activity you could probably do. Getting photos of your work.
Especially in such a visual field, like
100%.
Home remodeling and design build.
Yeah, you can talk about your quality of work all day long. Like, you can talk about how much you care about the clients, what the experience is going to be. But at the end of the day, the only thing that people can really trust is like, well, let me see what you can do.
Yeah.
Like, let me see what you've done for other people. And I will check that out myself, and I'll make the decision for myself. Do I believe that you are who you say you are? So if you don't have those pictures of your best work, even if it's like, I have some past project photos, but it's of projects that we don't really do anymore,
you don't want to show those.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, even if it's the best work, but it's not your ideal job.
Yeah, it's probably not ideal to show that off, because that's what you're going to start attracting more of.
Yeah.
Michelangelo specifically, he has done some great interior remodels as well, but when we were selecting clients for this project, it was, well, to be honest, I think I'm positioning the company to move towards outdoor living spaces and decks.
Yeah.
And so we cut a few different people that, like, I had such a good relationship with them. It's a beautiful project, but it's a bathroom. Like, it's just not at all what I'm doing anymore. So it's irrelevant. So while that stung at first, Michelangelo was like, honestly, I think it's going to be a better call. We'll have to push the videos back so I can get my next deck done. But then I will be able to show off more of my exterior work that I'm trying to do in the future.
So we've talked about, what you need to do and how to ask it, how to get over the objections. What about the utilization? We've completed the project, right?
Yeah.
How do we utilize these to possibly get leads or traffic or awareness, kind of like we promised in the beginning of the episode?
Yes. Yeah, because one of the things is you can have all these beautiful photos and videos, and
what do you do with them?
Means absolutely nothing
if you're in your Google Drive.
Yeah, it means absolutely nothing. And that's the other mistake a lot of people fall into is we'll have clients for our websites that we're struggling to get photos from, and they'll be like, oh, I guess I have this Drive folder. Does this help? And it's just like a categorized list of all of their past projects over the last few years. Yeah. I think that's the other trap people fall into is like, okay, fine. I have it in my schedule now. It's just part of the process. I set the expectation with them. Maybe it's not testimonial every time, But I just set the expectation, we're going to take professional photography afterwards. Then they do that, and then they just like...
They don't do anything with it. It just sits there.
Yeah, it just gets there.
And then they sit there and they're like, I can't believe I wasted all that money on a professional photographer. And then they get, it's like a bad taste in their mouth. They're like, well, I don't want to do that again because it costs me a lot. Photographers aren't cheap, right?
Yeah.
Videographers aren't cheap.
Yeah.
But they're, based on what you could get off of it, it's very cheap.
Yeah.
But if you don't use it, now it's a hole in your pocket.
Yeah.
And we see so many people who, even when we would do the utilization calls for the videos, and then later on they would call us, they'd be like, what do we do with this? Well, we went through all this.
Yeah.
So even a lot of people, they struggle with how do I use this?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. So the three main ways are, and we'll break these down bit by bit, but
just give them the bullet points.
Yeah, that's all I'll do. Your website, using them on your website, whether as feature project pages, just your own media, using them on social media. Don't count that way. You can't. He's sticking up his thumb and his pinky finger right now to count to 2. What are you going to do for 3?
You'll see.
Okay. And then for 3, then using them on paid ads. Rock on, dude.
That's right, because if you do all 3 of these, rock on. You like that?
I love you. I think that's rock on. It don't matter. This is a visual joke in an audio medium.
Well, it's for the YouTubers.
Yeah, that's for everybody watch on YouTube.
So go ahead, just say those one more time, and I'll not mess with you.
Okay. So it's on your website, on social media, and on paid advertising.
Yep.
Another way, a secret 4th one, we'll get back to later.
Yeah.
You like that?
Oh, you're going to tease the...
I'm going to tease it, so stick around.
Because I have no idea what you're...
Well, you may not.
Well, maybe I'll figure it out in the future.
You might figure it out.
All
you
right.
will if you stick around to the end of the podcast, Sean. So don't you leave.
I might.
Don't abandon me midway through.
Well...
Okay.
I got things to do.
Okay, so let's talk about using it on your website.
Yep.
One of the things that the most important page that we use them on is not a gallery page like most people. We use them in 2 places mainly. One is at the hero section of your website. So that is when you first come onto a website, the very top of the home page and the top of every page. A lot of times what we do is we'll have a big visual for what that page is talking about. Ideally, it's a set of videos, but it can also be a photo at the top. Just a big visual, so somebody comes on, they have immediate confirmation, I'm on the right page, this is what I'm looking for. And so having high quality media right there is fantastic, but the other page that we do is on your feature project page. And I've talked about these a decent amount on YouTube recently, but the idea being pages that don't just tell the client story, but do it in the context of here's the project we completed for them and here's why we did things this way. Having a single page for here's the Johnson deck, and it just goes through here's who the Johnsons are, here's what their problems were, and here's how we were able to work with them to fix that. Here's the beautiful photos of what their deck looks like now. So once you create pages like that, you can then, we'll get to it with social media and advertising, you can always funnel things back to it. But another way to use it is in your sales process. You can take it and share it with future prospects. You'll be on the phone with people. A lot of times, if you've heard the term assignment selling,
I've heard of it.
The idea is that in between each of your sales touch points, you're giving them a piece of content to consume. You can have the initial discovery call and say, what you're talking about sounds a lot like the project we did for the Johnsons a while back. Let me send you a link to our website so you can see exactly what their project looks like, and then maybe get some inspiration for your own project.
Yeah, and that's a big thing too. Like a lot of people don't realize that this is how organic content should be used. Yeah. Right? Because obviously there's other uses for things like paid content, but when it's organic, if you have a sales team or you're the salesperson or whatever, you need to be using your videos like this. Like it's great to have it on your website, but your website generally isn't a lead gen.
No.
But you can use it as a sales tactic like that. But you should be, when you're talking to anybody, hey, thanks for filling out the form. If you want inspiration and you want to see what we've done before, here is a video that we've previous project or previous project. Or kind of like what you're saying, where you have somebody who has an objection and like, I don't really know, like, if you can solve the problem I have. Like, well, actually, we've solved the problem just like what you're talking about, and here's the proof.
Here's how we did it.
And that's the main, like, the first idea of why we started making this organic content in general was something like that. It's like, answer the question.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. It also helps to show off like possible upsells or features.
Yeah.
Where people say things like, I mean, I like the heated floors, or one of the things, I mean, just yesterday, one of the things that Michelangelo's client was excited about but not convinced of immediately was having built-in benches on the deck.
Yeah.
She thought she wanted it, but it was going to be additional cost. Let's see what that looks like. Well, heck, and the same thing for the lighting as well.
Mm-hmm.
But then after having those things and living with them, she's now able to share both. We can take the visuals of it and show what it visually looks like at the end, but we can also share her experience of, I wouldn't do a deck without this in the future.
Yeah.
I mean,
she was talking about those benches a lot.
Oh yeah, I mean, she said it was her favorite part of it. And
Yeah.
It's a simple thing in the grand scheme of things. If you're doing a big deck, it's not that much of an add-on.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just one little thing that's like, oh, this, I wasn't expecting this, but this made the deck for me.
Yeah.
And so then if you have the content to share that with other people, that can help you with upsells of your project and the things that people might be like, oh, maybe we'll cut on that. You know, we're going slightly above what we expected. And just kind of showing them like, well, you don't have to do it, but here's what other people have said about it. You know, here's what their experience has been. And that can give them some more information to make a better decision.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Okay, so next thing, what do you want to do? Social media or paid advertising?
We can just start with social media first, because that's going to roll into paid advertising, obviously. And everyone knows social media at this point, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't know social media, how do you even find this podcast?
Yeah. You've heard of Facebook, right? You know Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah. I mean, it's not Facebook anymore. It's all Meta.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It is Facebook. The company's Meta. Anyways, yeah. So social media is a great place where to share all this content as well. The content needs to be a little bit different and designed specifically for social media, and each social media is different in one aspect or another. A lot of people, I see this a lot, where they'll just take like the horizontal video that we just did with the testimonial that works well on your website, does not play on social media.
No.
Does not. The algorithm is very strictly against it.
Yeah.
So if you think like you're just going to take this video and just post it, it's going to get 3 views. It's going to be your mom. It's going to be your wife.
Oh, dang,
you know,
dude.
it just is. And it's going to be you. And that's it. Because social media is not going to funnel that to anyone else, because people don't want to turn their phone sideways anymore. You know, you have a vertical phone.
Yeah.
They don't want to turn it sideways.
No, it's either you have to turn it sideways and it takes up the full screen, or it's just going to take up this tiny amount of real estate on their screen.
Yeah. And that's just, it's not appealing to watch.
Yeah.
So these videos need to be made specifically for social media as well. But there are like many things you can do where it's, a lot of people now, they want authenticity, and they want to follow a brand that is a person, is a human. It's not they don't want to follow corporations.
Right.
So this is like the social media aspect of things is actually very easy for anyone to do.
Yeah.
You know, just talking to Michelangelo this week, he does it really well. He's got a great following.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he had this great of a following.
Yeah.
And a lot of the videos he does, it's a person behind the scenes. And that's who, when people are trying to hire you, they don't want to just be like for the most part, they don't want a no-name company or no-face company. They want to know that the person in their house is someone they like.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So like for these social media videos, it literally could just be you going through with your phone, maybe a microphone if you want to do any kind of audio, but you're going through you can do updates throughout the project, or you can do what people really love is the finished project.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, there's different styles of accounts as well, right? Like one of the things when I'm talking to people is they'll kind of be like, well, should I do it like this, or should I, post just finished work? Should I sometimes show it behind the scenes? Should I show how we're doing something?
Yeah.
And it's none of those things are wrong. It's just trying to figure out from the beginning, and this will help you as you're creating social posts, knowing who's my ideal audience for the account, what's my goal for the account, am I trying to bring in business, am I trying to reach new people, Or am I trying to make it so that when people come to my social media, it gives them the confidence that like, oh, okay, these people are active, they're in business, and they do beautiful work.
Yeah.
Something like that. Having that idea and forethought beforehand of like, well, what is our goal for social media? That'll make everything you do so much easier.
Yeah.
And you'll have less questions about like, what should the caption be, or what should I post? How should I, what kind of angle should I take on this? Like, I have a beautiful photo. Am I giving advice? Am I just saying like, hey, check this out? You know, I've seen a lot of accounts that do really well. This works if you've been in business a long time and you have a big backlog. All they do is they just post beautiful photos.
Yeah, sure.
And that's it. And, you know, they pair it with nice captions and that kind of thing. But it's very tastefully done. And the following of that is just people that want to see pretty things in their feed. They want to get inspiration for their own kitchen. They're trying to stay up with the trends. So if you're like a design build firm and you have a large backlog, like that's a very real option, especially if you're not interested in doing videography or being on camera yourself. That's still a good way to garner a following online, but having that one thing and sticking with it.
Yeah, I'd say the majority of the people who are probably listening to this podcast, their social media should be a portfolio of their work.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not like you're going to do social media and then you're going to get a bunch of sales off of it. It's going to be, you can direct people towards your social media as social proof of what you've done and who you are.
Well, and one of the things now with SEO is, I know, and you might know more about this than me, but
probably.
I know that Google is taking into account and showing up actual, like it's searching through Facebook and Instagram.
They've started to crawl Instagram.
Yeah, to prioritize your ranking as well. And so people are finding your social media more organically. It's not even you having to send it to people. It's just by posting there and being active, it even helps your Google business profile show up higher.
And I can tell you, here's how, when I'm trying to hire somebody for anything, I will search them on Google. First thing is I check their website and of how it looks and like whether it seems like they're a well put together company. Then I go to their Instagram.
Yeah.
If your Instagram hasn't been updated recently, I'm less likely to hire you. I don't know what it is, but like if I'm up against two companies and your Instagram hasn't been updated in 6 months and theirs was updated last week, they are getting the call first.
Well, because here's the thing, like the immediate thing that it communicates, and everybody thinks about this, is like they do good work, you know? But on top of that, there's a deeper layer to it of, not do they just do good work, but it kind of shows that you're on top of things.
Yeah.
If you're doing this work, you're doing it consistently, and you're doing a solid social media, it's kind of like, okay, if the company is at the point in their life cycle where they're worried about posting on socials and having a good post every day, they probably have the other things covered. And it's like, people don't consciously think that. But when you go through and you see like you wouldn't expect a big brand like Apple, you go to their Instagram or something and they haven't posted in 3 months and it seems inconsistent. Like, it's just, when you expect a big brand, you expect that they have a social media, they have a plan, and they're consistent with it.
Yep.
When you see somebody that's like, okay, they posted twice last month, and then the last time before that was 6 months ago, and they just fallen off, it's like,
that feels messy to me.
Yeah, it feels messy. It feels like...
And if you're going to be messy on something as simple, I say simple, a lot of people out there think social media is not simple, but it can be.
Yeah.
But something as simple as posting on social media, if you're not posting on social media, in my mind, it's just kind of, you're not getting jobs, you're not doing work.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that. Why aren't they hiring you?
Yeah. It's not that, like, people look at that and immediately go, well, they must be a bad contractor. But it's like, it doesn't help you. That's for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
It's one of those things that when you do see it, it's like, oh, okay. They're probably at an upper echelon in their business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Cool.
Yeah, and on social media, like, you can pick one thing, kind of like what you're saying, where it's just beautiful photos, but it could also be a mix of a little bit of everything. People who do this really well is Bulletproof Pond and Lakes.
Yeah.
They will post educational content, so it's like what to know about, like, why your lake is doing this, or they'll do process videos where it's like, here's what to expect. Then they'll do like behind the scenes of like goofy things, like here's our team, and they do a little bit of everything. They do stories, they do posts, they do videos, and in an ideal world, that's what you're doing. That's really hard to do, especially if you don't have a dedicated person doing that.
Yeah.
But in an ideal world, you are doing a regular mix, a healthy mix of all of those, because you are hitting every client, potential client, where they enjoy to consume content. And the social media platforms, this is what they want you to do. They want people to stay on their platform as long as possible.
Yeah.
Because the longer that somebody is on their platform, the more ads they can sell and more money, revenue that they bring in, right? And so, I don't know why you're looking at me like that.
I thought you were about to segue into ads.
I am going to segue into ads.
Dude,
you ruined
good.
it, though.
You are good.
I know. That ruined my segue completely. Okay, so paid ads.
Okay. Well, tell me about it.
Yeah, so paid ads is another thing that everyone should be doing, and there's a number of ways to do this. And some people think that they got to spend a lot of money, and sometimes that's kind of true, but just to get started, you really don't. And you should be running ads constantly, even if they're just an awareness ad. So you can put a very small budget into it as long as they're running consistently.
Yeah.
That way people are just constantly seeing you.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, what I see a lot, especially when they start, is that they just take the regular post that they've already made and they just boost it.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. But that's not ideal. What's ideal is you are following a trend, or you are making a video that is specifically as an ad. And this doesn't even have to be a difficult or well-produced thing. A big trend on social media is UGCs or even EGCs. For those who don't know what that is, it's a UGC is a user-generated content, which is what, once I describe it, you have seen these everywhere. And essentially, it's somebody, they're holding their phone and they're like, I just bought this product and I love it, and here's why. It's literally just, it looks like somebody is using, or somebody just loved the product so much that they reviewed it. And it's just a normal person. But a lot of times, this is a paid content creator, and people don't know that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or it's a EGC, which is an employee-generated content. So that's literally your employee that you've paid, and they are creating content as the employee. So it's not that they're pretending to be somebody else, but everyone knows that you're your employee, right?
But so then they're just talking about like, hey, we wrapped this up. Something
like that, or it could be here's our product, let me tell you about it. So you make it known that they're an employee.
Okay.
But it's the same style. It's very, I guess I'm just going to keep using the word authentic. It's very low,
low production value.
That's it. That's the word.
Yeah, you don't have to have a ton of technical skills for it. It's just about what are you saying.
Yeah, and like you can see what people, and a lot of people don't realize this either, but you can see what your competitors are putting ads into on Meta. If you go to Meta Ad Library and search your competitor or whatever niche you're in, you can see every single ad, past, present, not future, but past and present.
You can't do
the future. It doesn't work like that. It's not Minority Report. But past and present of what ads are running. You can't see how well the ad is doing. You can't see how much money they're throwing into it, but you can see the creative and the captions that they're using, and you can gauge from there. It's like, is this good? Do I think it's good? Does this work for my brand?
Yeah.
And you can either copy that and make it your own, or you can steer away from that. So there's a number of things you can do, but that's a great way to get your foot in the door to see, in home kitchen remodeling, everyone is doing this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then you have to decide, should I also do this trend?
Does it fit our brand?
Does it fit our brand?
Yeah. Does that feel right?
Am I just going to fall into the noise? Or do I see that they're all doing it and I'm going to go in a different direction, so now I'll stand out?
Yeah.
But at least you have a footing to get started. And this is where I think
it's also possible you could say, like, this is really working well in this market over here, but nobody in my area is doing this style ad.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
But this is the biggest problem I hear from people who are, or see at least, that they're trying to do paid ads and they just don't know where to start.
Yeah.
Go into an ad library, and they all have it. Google has one too. Off the top of my head, I can't name it, but they all have one where you can see what other people are doing. That gives you a great, solid foundation. Now, I will also tell you that testing is massive when it comes to paid advertising. And a lot of people, they will take a boosted post, they'll throw $300 on one boosted post or whatever your budget is, and it doesn't work, and there's like, well, paid ads don't work. That's not true.
Yeah.
If your budget is $300, you should create 10 different ads.
Spread it out, basically.
Spread it out between them and change like one thing on each one of those, whether it be the first shot, the first 3 shots, the hook, the on-screen hook, which is very important, by the way. If you're not using on-screen hooks for your ads, I mean, how are you going to get them to stop, right?
Sure.
And in future videos, you should really do, or podcasts, you should do the structure of a short content ad, because that's really important too, as we've found out.
Yeah.
It's too much to go into on this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you change one thing across 10 videos, and then you watch the analytics come in. This one's not doing good, shut it off. This one's not doing good, shut it off. This one is doing phenomenal. How can we recreate this and keep using it?
Yeah.
And then you build upon that. And so testing is just huge in paid ads. You can't just run one. If it doesn't work, it's like, well, we're not going to do it anymore, because then you just wasted your money.
Yeah.
If you fail, it's okay to fail, but what did you learn?
And then in the ads, when you have more experience running them than I do, I think generally the best practice is take them back to a landing page or something like that on your website that sells.
Yeah, it depends. There's a lot of different things you could do, but that is a big one for like lead gen. Yeah, you set up a landing page specifically for that product that you can only get to by that ad. Because now you can see, oh, this many people clicked on it, this many people converted, and now you get extra data of this is working. But you can also, it depends on what you're trying to do, whether it's traffic, awareness, or lead gen. It all depends on what your outcome is.
Sure. Like I know, for example, like we would, at least for a bit, I'm not, you have more knowledge on this than I do.
You can stop saying that. It's been established.
It's been established.
It's been established.
We would send people back to the future project pages themselves.
Which is, yeah, that works too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because what that would be is the creative of that is that project, but it's specifically re-edited for short content. So we didn't just take that 3 or 4 minute video of the future project video in horizontal format and then throw it into an ad. We re-edited that into a vertical short form content that is snappy, quick, and it only gives you a little taste.
So then somebody's saying, I like this, I want to learn more about it.
Yeah, and they click on that, it brings them to that featured project page. And even that featured project page, it could be a copy of that, which is actually
You're saying a separate page so you can track the analytics?
Yeah, so it is actually a landing page that looks identical to your featured project page, but it has more of more pushes to convert them. Whereas your featured project page in general, you obviously have like forms and fill outs to try to convert them.
Yeah.
But you don't want it to be overbearing, because the idea is you're just trying to show off the project.
Yeah, I see.
But in a landing page, you're going to have more of that, or it's going to be a little bit more strategic, so that, because the idea for this is to specifically, this person's ready to buy, let's get them to convert right now.
I see.
So it's the same page, it's just, again, edited slightly different.
Oh.
There's a reason for everything that you're doing here, right?
Yeah.
You're not just like creating one thing and it's like, that's good to go. All of advertising, all of marketing, it's testing, it's storytelling. You have to do a little bit of everything. And that's why you have entire departments that are marketing.
Yeah.
That's why you hire people like CGN, because they do this for you, right?
Yeah, that's great. Well, Sean, thanks for being on the show today.
Absolutely.
Whoa, you were supposed to say, what about that secret fourth point that you...
I forgot all, the lawnmower distracted me.
Yeah.
For those of you who didn't see or can't hear, somebody showed up at Airbnb and they're mowing the lawn right now.
Yeah, he just gave us a nice little wave as we're back here in the backyard.
Completely threw me.
Recording a podcast.
Yeah, we're recording a podcast What's the secret fourth?
I was waiting on you to ask. Yeah. I can't believe you remembered.
What's the mid-roll credits here?
I can't believe you remembered. So the biggest thing on this is another thing that we've done at CGN. Take all of that and put it into physical media that you can hand out to neighbors or other areas that you're targeting.
Yeah.
So,
tell me more about that.
I would love to. You're segueing for me right now, and I appreciate it.
Look, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this.
You're gonna love this. You and I, we're learning at the same time.
We're learning at the same time.
So we would take
this is my favorite part.
The photos of the project and create pamphlets or mailers that we could then spread out to homeowners in the surrounding area. At this point, these are people that they see that you've been working in their house. So they ideally are seeing your truck wrap. They're seeing your yard sign. They have an idea that, okay, not only like I've seen this company a bit now, but one of my neighbors trusts them. They're curious about what's going on. Now you give them a mailer, they're primed. They're just ready to go. They're just so ready to go. You give them a mailer that's like, here's a project we recently completed in your neighborhood. And it's just a few different photos and maybe what we did as well as some quotes from the client of like their favorite parts about it, stuff like that. So then they get to look at this stuff and be like, shoot. They can't have that. I gotta have that.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
They gotta keep up with them Joneses.
Yeah, it's a real sickness.
Yeah, but on the real, they look at it and say, okay, I can actually, I know that they're a trusted source. These people trust them. If it's good enough for my neighbor, it's good enough for me, and I have a good example of their work right here. So that's a secret fourth way that you can do it. Yeah.
Perfect, man. I'm so glad you remember that because I completely forgot.
But
that's a real thing. A lot of people think that like physical media is dead, but if you do it the right way, it's not.
Yeah,
right?
it's not just mailing it to like absolutely everybody within a certain zip code.
Yep.
You can do focused approaches where you create the pamphlet and you only make maybe 60 of them or something like that, and you put it, definitely on that street, and then targeted little areas where you want, like pockets of where you want your clients to be.
Yeah,
it's much more hand-picked, but we've seen people it seems to have better ROI when you do it that way.
And not everyone's going to convert. It's not going to work for everybody, but that's just marketing in general.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Nice. Well, hey, thank you guys for joining us for this podcast today.
Absolutely. Special podcast.
A special podcast here in this backyard.
Yeah.
In this Airbnb.
This is fun. We should do more of these. We thought about doing it on the plane.
Yeah, we probably won't, though.
We won't.
Yeah.
We've already shot it.
We've already done it here.
Yeah.
We've already done it here.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do a post-credit roll or scene.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We probably won't, though.
We'll add it right at the end.
Don't wait around for it.
Yeah, well, maybe they do wait around for it.
Yeah.
You gotta
Take us out, Sean.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us on the podcast. I hope you learned something useful that you can use in your business to generate leads, traffic, and awareness to your business. If you want to hear more, you can always listen to the previous podcast and future podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and check out all of our social media for Contractor Growth Network.
Yeah.
It's been fun. Bye.
Goodbye.